Might be the police of a neighborhood station, bringing to a sufferer like you an unaffordable citation. So suffer your shopping cart deeply into the darkest foliage, hidden even from the stars who are at peace with the high sea breeze and the rustling treetops, listening as you suffer in peace, safely hidden even from the stars and the high sea breeze, safely hidden in the dark illegal park. And hush, don't cry, don't laugh or cry, or make another human sound. This passerby may not even be a cop, but worse, a sufferer like you, but with a stone-sharp knife, seeking his own peace and his own midnight prowl through your shared illegal city park. Anarchy at the top. 21st century corporation to create wealth for the 1%, sustain chaos among the global poor, steal everyone's labor and resources, engineer civil war wherever possible, corrupt all our governments, sell any weapon to the highest bidder, convince developed societies to fear terrorism, organize both the drug trade and wars on drugs, push market prices higher and higher for anything known to be unsustainable, including the Earth's atmosphere. 21st century anarchy begins and ends in corporate boardrooms. Healthcare USA. I've just been relaxing with my anger stretching out in a discomforting waiting room chair, with rage breathing in and resentment breathing out, at peace with themselves as always when intimidating the most vulnerable, who are freaking out among medical technicians and nursing professionals just doing their jobs, just busy about their business practices, having the gall to be practically whistling while they work us over like demonic little Snow White dwarves doing a happy dance down some bucolic brick road, while the rest of us restrain ourselves from kicking over the discomforting waiting room furniture as we breathe in criminal intent and breathe out anti-Nazi jackboot fury at the arrogance of big money yielding surgical technology and drizzling needles for profit, grinning at us. Everything is going to be all right, woman no cry, as the corporate welfare anti-health care system draws its finest quality made in poverty-stricken third and fourth world society scalpels across our evidently powerless throats. Judgment Day. Walking in the slow line, keeping to the righteous side, that's us. Lining up, trying not to criminalize, holding to the path where we were born and bred, steady on with our beliefs. Then you come around, cutting your eyes from a devil's corner, sliding out of a chill room, born as from a cemetery tomb. Dead stare, a corpse for a mind, and a grin on your lips that is clearly the reptilian kind. But there's not a snake nor a lizard in the zoo that a body shouldn't trust more than you. That's us, you see, moving slow down the righteous side, steady on what we believe was a decent path, born and taught not to hate, not murder, nor set ourselves to crime, but the look on your face, in your eyes, is a demon's power, taking its time to have a few drinks, to snort a few lines, the mind of a corpse working overtime, sensing the weakness of the steady kind, knowing you can tip us up by hitting from the blind. We say the evil side. That's exactly what you've done. Caught us with war and corruption from your Enron 1% side and tipped us into chaos, leaving us on the curb without a dime. You proceed to herd our children into desperation, run our girls and boys like cattle into the snares of your wranglers, military recruiters, crack dealers, pimps, and prison guards. You pay the rich who always take the money to join with you and look the other way. Pay off your preachers to pound on Bibles and shout out the end of days. Slaughter working people, wreck our families, set Jew against Muslim, brown against white, against black, betray our trust and cynically mock the toil of the just. You despoil the businesses, schools, homes, and temples where we were all born and bred, and behind your dead eyes, in your putrefied mind, a grin on your lips that would shame a serial killer. You reap obscene, arrogant profit from our pain in the name of everything your preachers and patriots are paid to claim as sacred. You think that honesty plus poverty equals stupidity. That is the extent of your ruling class education. We think that corruption and violence are signs of your ignorance, and soon enough you will collapse at our feet, so that we who have built this society can learn from our mistakes and begin to do it better this time.
What'd I tell you? What'd I tell you?
You told her.
Oh yeah, this is the one. Homeless security and democracy. For her own safety, we must barricade with our bodies. Keep the police at pepper spray length with our own eyes. Bend our backs to their clubs, wear crash helmets, steel-toed boots. Or is she not our sister? Our sister, stumbling in the shade of that freeway, coat torn and tarred, hair battered and face permanently scarred, she is one of us, broken, tormented, living our night sweat dreams. Our sister, she's family, human and poor, shopping cart pushing poverty from corner to corner, existing illegally, frequently under arrest, murdered easily, raped with impunity sometimes by cops. Who but the weak and powerless, careless and immoral, unrighteous, calloused, would allow their sisters, their brothers to be treated so? None but we. There are no others. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a 10-minute break, and when we come back, we have a raft of poets for you to enjoy. Schmooze as you would like, or even if you don't like to schmooze. Remember, you're being streamed, so if you make an obscene gesture, 542 million people will be on your Facebook page in 2 seconds. Only kidding. So a 10-minute break, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy. We'll be back with more. Thank you so much.
Okay.
It's good. We have a good voice. You rock. No, I just right there. I just want to make sure you're okay. Yeah, no, I'm okay. Just write it on this card. I don't know where next time you're going to be you should give me your mic. Yours. And then I'll write you.
I'm very here in the backyard I did the check because I don't use it for certain. Yeah, with a gold. Here to know you for the gold. I try to give it back to the gold. Okay, you're right. The gold it works. It's a bad. Here's the Called me so many times that I didn't have a decent phone calls and you put it on
At 6 o'clock. I'm sorry I was late. I was trying to print something up and I went to a FedEx and they wouldn't do it because they were trying to close and then I had to go somewhere else. But that's what I'm I have being on time anxiety. I've always been that for me. I don't care if you're late, but I have to do my thing. And be like, sitting on the edge of my seat. No, it's strictly because I went to FedEx and they wouldn't help me because they said they were closing, so I had to go somewhere myself. I'm one small. Do you mind?
But I understand if something happens. Sounds good. I'm going to invite email this time, so we're going to sorry. Okay.
I heard the most wonderful
I know.
Do you like it? Oh yeah, Tiger, pretty
What they say, coconut oil for memory, and the tri-seeds. I don't know if you pronounce CHI. Is it pronounced chai and you pronounce it chai? I don't know. CHI. It has nothing to do with chai. But they're seeds, the little seeds. And they're supposed to be fantastic. Aztec Costco has them. I'm sure Whole Food has them. I put it in boiling water, put a little honey, and I just took it. I put 1 or 2 spoons, that's it, small spoons, you know. They sort of swell up, you know, the street is without knowing what the little is. Now I've come here to find out what the little is. But it's all
and painted the, no subject, no object.
I bought it from Costco. Got a big bag like that. I just boiled it in water, just a little bit, stick it in there. And it's delicious, it's not bad, it's very good to eat. Put here's something, it's very good. Use it in oil, coconut oil. I don't know what it is about coconut oil. Now they're finding out this thing about coconut oil. So maybe, I believe in this right now, I don't want that other chemical stuff with this. It's okay, we have
The Princess Company over here in
I shall. Are you going to read it? So when you go out, you don't mention it. I'll mention it. Or just the bad people in our generation used up the earth. I go So when you get up and you walk as loud, round the applause, so don't be long. I try to make it loud, so you can holler to get
Drop your pops and grab your socks. It's time to go back to the party.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's like my friend, when I was like 9 years old, my friend used to say,
Shut up!
you can choose your friends, and you can pick your nose, but you can't choose to pick your friends. Why did I say that? It just came to mind. We're coming back after the break. Have a seat, please. Yasmin Mobile is going to break us open after the break, and then we got a new person coming up, so we got to give them that round of applause. We're all famous.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're around. Please bring it up.
Continuation of the novel, and for some of you who've been here, so you know where I'm going with it. So this takes place after Kareem, the Afghanistani Pathan, walks in through the door in Omri's house, and it's a continuation of last time. So, father and mother had been far too busy to deal with me during those 2 weeks. There were riots all over the city. Strikes, demonstrations, and political upheavals had become a way of life in much the same way as the festivals which occurred each fortnight in the city of Bombay. Father worked 14 hours a day, leaving in the early hours of the morning and returning late at night. Mother had the notion of starting a small family business dealing in handicrafts. Her partner has backed out of it last moment, leaving her with the financial burden of carrying through on the project. The station inspector's house was under minimal supervision. Kareem entered through the back door. He humbly requested that he be allowed to take charge of me. Don't you ever forget that you're a servant, Mother shirked off his request. She smiled. She mulled it over in her mind after she had dismissed him. What makes you think you can make her any better? She cajoled. Mem Sahib, I do not know that. I can only try, with God's grace. Mother was in no mood to hear about God's grace. She waved her hand in the air. I'll think about it. She dismissed him again. The next day, she sent word with Abdul, as long as you don't fill our head with film stars and Bollywood. Kareem assured her that he knew nothing about films. Nani was in the midst of story, Nani, his grandmother, about deadly cobras in a little village not far from Bombay when Kareem interrupted her. With your permission, I will take her for a walk. I want to fly kites, I said. I let him know my preferences. Then we'll fly kites. The demon take your kites, Nani said. You promised a kite, I protested as Kareem walked me towards the Strand Cinema. Kareem did not respond. He stopped at the construction site. Workers stood in straight lines, starting from a heap of sand towards the base of a dugout area. 3 men mixed the cement into the sand with shovels. The women came one at a time, poured water on the cement from brass pots balanced on their heads. When the mixing was complete, 7 men picked up the shovels from the working men and poured the cement into open iron pans. These gamelas were passed from hand to hand in a line of workers. There was a rhythm in the movement. Women sang to the beat of the gamelas being passed from hand to hand. The men said hoy each time they filled the pan, and shar each time the gamela was emptied. Hoshiar means alert. It was like a chant on a battleground or in a temple. The movement and the sound was mesmerizing. Kareem pointed out the pregnant women who stood fatigued. They will deliver soon, perhaps on the sand. I was about to ask him why he had brought me there when he said, 4 annas a day, 6 days a week. How much do you think they make? Do you know? Of course, I calculated the rate. I'm not a fool. There you go, of course you aren't, even though the tutor said, oh, that old fool, Kareem smiled. How long before the building is complete? A year, if the monsoons aren't too severe. That long? That long. They'll have a job and food. In 1 year, they will make, he stopped talking, silently running the figures through his head. I joined him, arguing about the wages. It was not until he had taken the paper from his pocket and sat calculating the figures with me that I was alert to a scheme. You are testing my mathematics. I was furious. I'm showing you what a difference it would make if you were a worker earning your wages. The demon take that. I thought it took the kite, Kareem used Nani's words. He said softly, want to sharpen the thread of the kite? No. You'll win. You'll even cut every kite in the sky. When? Tomorrow, after school. No math? Promise? Promise. The servants forgot to wipe the dust off the black glass on the dining table. I drew pictures of the workers constructing the building on the table. Later that night, long after the glass had been wiped off, I thought about the chance. I thought it strange that these people should leave their villages and sing songs about the moon. I thought about the pregnant women who carried water and would deliver soon, perhaps on the cement heap. Thank you.
Thank you, young people, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Rob Clifford is next, and he is new to us, so we need to give him the usual huzzahs.
Good to see you again, Clara Sue.
He hails
Good
from
to see you.
Oregon, right?
Hey, what?
You hail from Oregon, correct?
Yes.
And that's where that poem I read about the night thing was from, Corvallis.
Really?
Yeah, that's right. I have a friend up there, so I thought I didn't know that connection.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Great town. All right. Anyways, I got 4 or 5 short poems here. I want to thank you for having me. My brother, who was in the foxhole, wrote and told me he wouldn't write me when I ended up in one myself because I never wrote him. Never understood why he said that. Did not know that I did not write. I never understood what it was to have a brother in a foxhole, so we did not talk. I discovered foxholes were not just for movies. It was too late for me to fill the hole with letters to talk while the invisible letters stacked up.
Wow.
The birds chirp a song over my mother's grave early in the morning after the saloon is closed. My father, who I spent more time with while dead than alive, lies to the right. The birds do not chirp that far. My stance is crooked, the leaves damp. Orange sunrise, sailor delight. My father was a sailor, most of the time on his ass in a poker game. My mother knows where she is buried beside the old man. The old man does not know where he is buried. I wanted to buy flowers today that colored the air, that smell that would carry me back up the road. I want to say that you bought them for me. While my pores sweat against the picture of my mind, dripping down my face, through the cavity of my chest, to the center of the magic well, that endless magic well, praying for your soul to unshackle and leap. The flowers blossom again, walking back down the road, from up the road, the pores have dried, the stems stand up to hope. The boulders of muscle on young boys who leave mother's apron strings in front of 100,000 savages whose bodies will never be as beautiful to break. The boulder of boys moves sweetly forward, sideways, up, down, across. Pick any number to crucify because they cannot hit their fathers. While their fathers cry in dark barroom corners, mothers pray. The young warriors search for a chief who will never meet him. And this last poem, really quickly, I'm going home. It is what it is. Anyways, mother is still dead on the porch couch, the house the governor's father sold and enriched again. Our life on a forced march, 4 times not counting the ones I did not know about. What did mother really think? What does my dead father think? What did my alive father think? Mother is still dead on the couch. Her eyes open, curled straight up, still no teeth, still no live mother. still no picture. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Kevin Reinhardt. Kevin Reinhardt, then Lucy, then it looks like Herb, then Garrett Murphy, then our mini feature Clara, then Cesar, Ed, my Q, and then Greg, who will kick us off with their adventure. Oh, hold on a second. You put that forward. Really good.
Evening beatniks, I'm Kevin. I'm Kevin, and this is a tribute to Neil Young. She went for the disabled pool player who was taking a bit too long over his shot, but I wasn't a disabled pool player, so I did nothing. She went for the Michael Manson clone in bandana and mascara, but my allergy to peroxide aside, my thighs aren't even in the same zip code as his skinny jeans, so I did nothing. She went for the 50-year-old Motorhead fan, Pigtails, but the half of our marriage that would stand for Lemmy was back in London, trying on a variety of hats and silk scarves, so I did nothing. She went for the Welsh lawyer in glasses. I went out for a cigarette. By the time she started pulling the hair of the rock chick who was leaning back, elbows on the bar, chest out, the band on stage may as well have been Lynyrd Skynyrd. When they started like a hurricane, she was nowhere to be seen, amidst the broken glass, vomit, and screaming prom queens of either sex. So that was a Neil Young tribute band I saw in Helsinki. And from Helsinki we moved to St. Petersburg in Russia. And this is called The Big Lebowski.
Oh, that's a great movie. Yeah.
This was a great pub. The only mulleted manager of only English pub in Russia. Wax up to 11, Michael Jackson's Black or White, and with outstretched arms that span a domain which may as well be a Brazilian Jesus, declares to the assembled coyote ugly Hindu in hats, "This my bitches." He motions at the red telephone box toilets in the corner to his horse, which for 1,000 rubles you can sit on and have your photo taken. This is of no interest to the hammered, industrial strength, wrecking ball of a bohemian, recently exiled from the jazz and poetry bar for unsanctioned renovations, lost his balance, took out a supporting wall, saxophonist covered in plaster. The poet kept going. Anyway, his only interest in the horse is to outdrink it. "No matter how many hands you have, I drink every day." Reducing the horse's pint by a half, he takes a swig, immediately loses interest as he eyes up a spare, and with all the momentum his mass can summon, he rolls towards 2 pins at the end of a bar. She, dressed as her grandma, with no sign of 25 on the horizon. He, barely capable of a beard, smoking a pipe. The inevitable gutter ball is barely registered. Blaring out of the speaker, survivor's Eye of the Tiger, frustrated that there is nowhere to go after 11, the manager hauls him up off the floor, props him against the bar, gives him a slap that would send Rocky Balboa back at least 2 sequels, catches him before the ref has time to step in. Together they manage a stagger in the manner of a 3-legged race towards the toilets. The manager motions at his horse. "This, my bitches." "This no your bitches, this your fucking horse." And with that, our wrecking ball of a protagonist snatches the lit cigarette from the horse's mouth, takes a drag, unaware it's from his packet he left lying around earlier, which the horse had stolen for taking liberties with his pint of beer. And now we end up in California. Too extreme for California. Sunday morning, 5 a.m, Mardi Gras in Union Square, the Cheesecake Factory working overtime. Some dogs are big, others small. Cats in the main are similar in size. All Americans have the same shaped mouth. The philosopher within me hasn't brushed his teeth yet. Sarah Palin claims she can hit the Golden Cross off the top of St. Peter's and Paul's Church from Coit Tower with her rocket launcher because it only takes the bad hair day of one mad woman to take down a wolf in the snow, which coincidentally happens to be the number of members of ZZ Top it took to shunt start with his monster truck, the tram I was stuck on this morning, catching the business end of the mudslinging as the seagulls of Pier 45 were deemed too extreme for California. I was mistaken in thinking that God didn't make the little green apples and that some Walgreens were open all night. My midnight quest to kill the pain was thwarted by the laughter of a bum speeding past in his shopping trolley. Ha! Anybody who'd seen Dirty Harry could have told you that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's my 41st day. If you want a copy, just come see me.
All right, we have copies of the book, ladies and gentlemen. Your chance. Thank you. And now we have Lucy. Come on up, give her a nice round. Wonderful.
Okay, I'll try and follow that. This is a San Francisco piece that I wrote a couple of years ago. An island. His voice quivering with Capotean intensity, he called her vulgar, and she smacked him in the face with a hard-boiled egg. Barred for life from world of charms, identity lost in a budget hotel, he's the slog who forgets what the stem on a wine glass is for. No one calls him darling anymore, but the pavements still sparkle. All the women, knife-wielding monsters, snake charmers, jump into the sea. He blames Nemo. In the Guinness foam of the waves, they may frolic to pass the time while he flirts with bears carrying the faces of owls and wonders which buttons to push. Will there be fire, music, meteorite showers? Real ones, not a scoop of silver sequins scattered by a spoiled princess. Will there be North Beach combers, idea miners, intellectual warlords waging war to flying books? Books like seagulls, books like doves, books like albatrosses. He missed out on the 60s. Now everyone wears plastic flowers in their hair. He remembers his alcoholic mother. When on holiday abroad, avoid anyone who speaks your tongue. Smiling doesn't suit him, but there's an island for everyone. Washington Square, 2:39 p.m. Turning up late for the public execution of a wayward Pomeranian, we settle with the winos in Washington Square. Poplar trees conspire in a half-hearted circle, sheltering Franklin from devilish rain. A cycling policeman takes our photo at gunpoint, says we look like his long-dead friends, all hats and communist smiles. Tai Chi propellers do the moonwalk with open polka dot umbrellas. After puking up 5/17th of a haiku on a virgin tile in Kerouac Alley, the part-time poet flings himself into the grass, wailing. As an aside, you say that if I scowled long enough at something, I could write about it. I know you have your own fleet of demons to exercise, but last night I slept in an airing cupboard, wrapped in gin-soaked sheets, curled up like a mummified embryo. Today, 2:39 p.m. in Washington Square, I stopped 2 flies from mating on my unwritten novel. That was written during Fleet Week 2 years ago. We were in San Francisco. Traumatized by the devils, angels, whatever they're called. And this is my last one. It's called Bath Time with Nuts. I'm imagining this millennium as an ocean liner and each of its year as a cabin. I float, pink finger corals groping cashew nuts. Out of the ceiling twist 8 giant octopus tentacles. The sky fills slowly with burning zeppelins. My octopus wears a Bismarck moustache. I never knew how much anger fit into a bathtub. Through the permissive walls, We listen to the priest deliver his whipping sermons. I've learned to scream underwater. It carries. On the edge of the tub scowls a loaded pistol. My hand hovers over the last cashew embryo. Almost everyone I revere is dead. And if you want a copy of the book, then
There you go.
No fighting this year, hallelujah, because the government's broke.
The government's broke. What did they break?
I assemble that remark.
I dissemble that remark. All right.
No Fleet Week this year.
Alright.
Hallelujah. I didn't know if anyone was
Come on
alive.
up, Herb, please. Give him a round.
Thank you.
Oh, that sounded good.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Let me raise that up just a little bit here. Is that good? Perfect. All right, good.
We're gonna all raise it up incrementally. I hope this one will help. I wrote it after the Peace Festival in Golden Gate Park, August 24th. It was a huge success. One day, one moment, but it was really successful. So I didn't. Bellflowers and bell towers. Meet me in Constantinople, my dear, for nothing changes here, and nothing to get hung about. Nothing to get hung about. You're as welcome as the flowers on Mockingbird Hill. The world can be so mean, runs on sex and gasoline. Who would have guessed that something as inconsequential as peace could be so substantial, that everlasting fix into the palm of your hand, and you're as welcome as the flowers here on Mockingbird Hill. Out of the red and into the black, out of the black and into the pink. Life can be so mean, runs on sex and gasoline, but you, my dear, welcome as the flowers here on Mockingbird Hill. And this is just some filler, I suppose. It's in the air, it's in the mail, it's in the jeans, and it's in the bag. Come just around the bend, wait for it, the vision has its time, watch for it, you snooze, you lose. It is what it is. You'll never be the same, no, you'll never be the same. Thank you. This was just something I copied from Helmut's Hall, and I think a good place for me to end. You'll feel the thirst that none can make you drink. Was always here, but isn't what you think. Won't steal your soul and make you blind. It's just a cup of kindness all the time. Just a cup of kindness all the time. Yeah.
As promised, we have Garrett Murphy coming up now, a well-known person of note and flavor. Give him a nice round as he comes up here. Then we have Carol, Garrett Murphy.
It's the Blue Angels that are canceled. Fleet Week perhaps will occur, but there'll be no jets flying over our
that is
city
good,
this
Mark.
year.
Oh,
I
that is good.
correct myself, and now I will shut up.
Okay, thank you for that
You're
announcement.
so welcome, Dan.
Anytime. No, I will never miss an opportunity to swerve.
And some ingredients. Addicted to crackdowns.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a craving to punish simply because you can? Do you desire death penalties of looking out of the ordinary? Does the notion of collective punishment send you into ecstasy? Do you crave fantasies of maximum security prisons for accidental littering? If any of the above describes you, you may be addicted to crackdowns. But not to worry, we have a brand new group for you, Crackdownies Anonymous. And you need not worry about acquisition your identity on the part of our organization. Of course, we cannot assume responsibility for your identity being revealed by your own blatant acts of your addiction. Crackdownies Anonymous is especially recommended for bosses, parents, police, judges, prosecutors, presidents, governors, school superintendents, principals, and administrators of all stripes, and anyone else drunk on their authority. Crackdown addiction is not easy to overcome. It is the most sought after and popular addiction by far, having long surpassed love addiction in its appeal and food addiction in its difficulty to overcome. Other addictions trail far behind. Crackdownies Anonymous is still in its infancy, and studies have yet to be completed concerning its effectiveness. However, the time is long overdue for an organization such as this. Our prisons, shelters, and asylums are far too many casualties of crackdown addiction, and there are many casualties out in the street as well. And you may already be one of them. Never mind knowing one. Join Crackdownies Anonymous. Crackdown on crackdowns. Private Eye. Here we go for only the multi-zillion time ever. We bring you the great discovery of privatization. Yes, privatization, the world's greatest discovery of all time. Better than a wheel, better than learning to read, than altruism, than the discovery of fire, than the entry into space, and especially in even democracy itself. Privatization enables you to acquire all you can own for your exclusively optional use. Your booty is not just in good hands, it's in your good hands. So 3 cheers for the ability to privatize, sing praises or the ability to possess, and should others object, well, it is your property. You can toss them out in the slightest of whims, or better yet, not even allow them in the first place. Your private sector is yours and yours alone. You decide who goes in and who goes out, or not at all. The next best thing, your radio kingdom, and it can be built into a whole idea and empire. And remember, just remember, Woolworths was also a private domain. Nuts in charge. In a world that's in need of so many a thing, the times they are waiting and the crucial to boot. Our survival as we know it is open to question if the nuts are in charge of the cookie jar. And the nuts are in charge of the cookie jar. And the nuts are in charge of the cookie jar. And the nuts are in charge of the cookie jar. The bullies have been turned into the heroes of the world. McCarthy has come to it. It's in its treason. A crisis has struck and leadership is so unneeded, but the nuts are in charge of the cookie jar. And the nuts are in charge of the cookie jar. And the nuts are in charge of the cookie jar. And the nuts are in charge of the cookie jar. The genocidal maniacs don't have a field day responding except because they feel they have nothing left to lose, so to claim that for the victims of the presidents instead, for the nuts are in charge of the cookie jar. And the nuts are in charge of the cookie jar. And the nuts are in charge of the cookie jar. And the nuts are in charge of the cookie jar. Now, if you see the profilers are licking their chops of all the dark human non-Christians on the menu and you say it's okay, it's just a tatty comedian, then you must be a nut in the cookie jar. Then you must be a nut in the cookie jar. Then you must be a nut in the cookie jar. And you must be a nut in the cookie jar.
He has some books, people, so that's a pleasure to see. We got a few people with books here tonight. That's great. Thank you, Garrett. All right, Clara, our new feature of the evening, so bring her up with more respect and regard. Again, don't do this at home. This is a professional.
We had a lot of friends who died on us this year. And to the point that I decided to put all the poems about these friends who had passed away together. And in Sacred Grounds we have quite a few. So I wrote this poem called Passacaglia for the Dead, for the Sacred Grounds poets. And we've got Johanna and Steve and Carlos.
Carlos right there, yes.
Passacaglia for the dead. Timor mortis conturbit me. K.L. Hill. First thunder, growling hungrily. Spits of rain, warning of change. Fallen leaf beside the glass jar. Empty seat in the cafe, and the low murmur among poets that tonight would be different. It has come to pass. The wind kicks up. He won't be seen again. Timor mortis conturbit me. Syria wit. Sometimes it is necessary to come down the hill and be with people. It is not out of loneliness, but a call to be the mosaic's interlocking piece. Then break from the knit with millions of other pieces. The porcelain skin, the unsteady gait, the halting speech. Die cast, reshuffle into the puzzle without a name. Timor mortis conturbit me. Johanna Wedgwood. Johanna, queen of the woodland, keeper of the sacred grounds, your poetic gremlins salute you. For 2 decades, you sat among us, splendid in your silver mane and moss-green raiment. With each turn of your dial, we were given time. Johanna, the great monarch there has summoned you. You rise, knees pulsing, arms swinging, chanting verses that are 2,000 years old, giving birth to the next century's child. Johanna, Druid, we praise you for your walk on earth, the impression you have left on our hearts. Johanna of grace, Johanna of compassion, Johanna of love, Johanna of peace, Johanna of heart magic, Johanna of brainquake, Johanna of light. Timor mortis conturbit me. Carlos Ramirez. Langston was found in El Salvador, great big frosty beard. Discovered on the library shelf, Langston Hughes dances in schoolyards. They called him Santa Claus, silver liquid drops, he loved the rain. Pete Seeger was found in Dolores Park, white sleeveless undershirt, mine troop on the 4th of July. Pete held his arms up, turned, sun on his brown skin, sun in his brown eyes. El Poeta de la Trenta, shy in front of the midwife, she penciled a question mark, a spark, a mite, each leaf a time. Carlos, don't be afraid. He came out, woo-hoo, swore not to grow up. El Cipote met an angel rolling down the slope, pushing an ice cream truck. Timor mortis conturbit me. Steve Mackin. The wounded god chuckled, picked up his fog latte, triple shots, threw down a stack of poems and walked out. Run backward, water. Gray painted windows, blackened leaves affixed on cold panes. A lone crow stood on the thin line between the city and the sea. Timor mortis conturbit me. H.D. Moe. Blessed beatitude. Death day is birthday. Shooby-doo, tiddlywinks. Baby beat in a stammering rocket. Latitudinal attitude. The world appease. Syncopated synchronicity. Go gentle, arrows, in a Japanese silk kimono. Giddy up from word pools, sand, pearls, mirages, charades, deep burp, leap, link, thinking dreams, waking blackouts, we tread on thin vapors, wild roller coasters, Moe's translations. Death, drag, death, drag, death, drag, death, drag, death, 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 drag, beneath, hag, beneath, rug, death, beneath, beneath, weather, death, red, death, drags, death, grass, death, eats, death, drag, death, raw, death, raw, death, hospice bed, death, whole, death, sees, death, sprays, under, 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 death, under, death, near, death, timor mortis conturbit me. The fear of death disturbs me. I look for you among the pedestrians and idle in the cafe which you frequented. But no matter how slowly I sip my coffee and nibble at my sandwich, you do not pass by to discover that I am waiting on this slightly rainy day when grayness dominates the skyline and the vast internal space. My cup is empty. My plate has few crumbs. I carry my wanting to the street, to the car, to the place I work, to the house. I sleep and wake. Thank you.
Okay, so we have three more: Cesar, Love, Ed, and Greg, the closer. Cesar, and then Ed, and then Greg. Give them a nice round, please. Welcome to the city.
Oh, thank you. So now, I'm going to be at Lit Crawl on Saturday at Casa Bonaparte, 8:30, along with Alejandro Morguia and Thomas Riley and Valley Barra. So it should be a good show. So then, did some translations and I'm working on them, working on reading them. So I'm going to read these in English and then in Spanish. Wedding presents. To the certain couple in uncertain times, when the street noise whelms, give them a ladder to the rooftop garden. When shrapnel falls, give them a veil from the world we witness. When the sky blackens, give them the stars, wishful, eternal. To the certain couple in uncertain times, give them a drum, sonorous and large. One rhythm that weds four hands. To the certain couple in uncertain times, give them our thank you for their weather of hope cascading upon us. So, en español, regalos de boda. Para la pareja cierta en tiempos inciertos. Cuando la bulla de la calle abruma, dale una escalera para el techo del jardín. Cuando las bombas caen, dale un velo contra el mundo que estamos viendo. Cuando el cielo se ennegrece, dale las estrellas deseosas eternas. Para la pareja cierta en tiempos inciertos, Dale un tambor grande y sonoroso, un ritmo que une cuatro manos, para la pareja cierta en tiempos inciertos. Dale nuestra gratitud para su lluvia de esperanza cayendo sobre nosotros. The short one. Useless umbrella. That second between the lightning and thunder. Just before her eyes meet yours. Okay. Paraguas inútil. Ese segundo entre el relámpago y el trueno. Justo antes, sus ojos encuentran tuyos. While bees sleep, a flower opens her cloak, receiving gifts from the night. Cuando abejas duermen, una flor abre su rebozo, recibiendo regalos de la noche. Trespasser shoes. Shoes perfect for the fastest dance. Shoes so cool, even jaywalkers swoon. Shoes that scale barbed wire. 2 taps and you're invisible to every cop and guard. Shoes that violate the dress code. Shoes that never came in a box. The shoes that skip over stairs, that short-circuit escalators. 3 taps and you leap above. Foul lines, flagpoles, border checkpoints. Trespasser shoes, polished with a darker shade of saint. Hiding in your closet, waiting to walk on water. Hedoneo zapatos para el baile más veloz, tan chéveres que incluso los peatones que cruzan carreteras acaban extasiados. Zapatos que transcienden las púas de los alambres, 2 golpes de tacón y te vuelves invisible a los ojos de la migra y patrullas fronterizas. Zapatos desafiantes de códigos de ropa, zapatos que no vienen en cajas de zapatos y vuelan por encima de escaleras y que incluso provocan algún cortocircuito por la escalera eléctrica que esté sobrevolando. 3 golpes de tacón y ya transciendes interminables colas hasta de las banderas y retenes. Zapatos para entradas ilegales, boleados con oscura piel de santo, ocultos en tu closet, en espera del momento de caminar también sobre las aguas.
And my cue is coming up, a well-known poet over the decades and through the centuries. To grandmother's house we go. I shouldn't have said that. You don't like me saying things like that.
I don't
Turn around.
I think you're
Thank you very much. And Craig, Craig, where's Craig?
He's right here.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
When the rifle discharged in the face, broke through the jaw, burst out the skull, died in minutes. Mama thought she knew her children were where she thought. When the kitchen radio said a 14-year-old boy was dead and didn't tell the name. Joey. 1981, cowpunker from Montana enters San Francisco. Knows what he wants, can't describe it. Caleb needs dermacate, absorbent underpants, harmonious inner scenes. Caleb needs chain singer dress of beige and white rayon with a lace collar, no camera. Caleb needs to take it to the streets in silk and open-toed opera pumps and a fox. But Caleb looks rugged in red, a tomboy kind of boy who wants an unsuitably exciting rhythm. He wants more flesh, bare guts, heart like a tempest, and a dick like the spout on the big Irish company teapot. Caleb wants class. He wants to be ass, wants a serious dance of love. Caleb just wants to be different. And now a little poem for the season, the holiday season coming up in our dinners, family dinners. Carnivory in the plant kingdom. Eating during banker's hours, during the time others are sawing wood, and the termites are eating it. Hunger is first things first, not sex, not shelter. You live, learn, and still we all knock on wood because you're never too young to step up to the plate. But you have to prioritize, especially if you are a vegetarian as big as a reindeer. From the get-go, when you are beating the tom-tom for dinner, you don't shilly-shally or you're so full of beans, though it's no skin off your teeth. As for freeloaders, with time passing, for anyone who knows his onions, these layabouts will soon learn a new rite of passage when they are deader than a doornail. Okay? Plants eat animals. Animals eat plants and other animals. But do plants eat other plants? Are fungi plants? Geez, Louise, you say, it's screwy Louis, as far as the eye can see. But all you really need to know is that time flies, enter the ointment. Because if it isn't omnivory or carnivory, it's herbivory and a herd of hippos. Happy holidays.
Thank you. And now, the glorious closer of the evening, Greg Pond, will come up and keep us out and take care of these door prizes. And Mama Bear and Papa Bear will talk to Baby Bear.
I'm going to be featured next week here.
All right. Oh, yes, that's right. Next week's feature. Like this, come on back.
And come back even if you don't like it.
Yeah, because he'll read other stuff.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Just two. Menace to society. I hear the sound, window rolled, car door locked, sunroof closed. A reaction from someone they see, someone who looks like me, often profiled as menace to society. I see the purse that's tightly clutched, the handbag a little too closely hugged. A reaction from someone they see, someone who looks like me, a possible menace to society. I feel the prejudice chill when people cross mid-block, looking at me with looks that could kill. A reaction from someone they see, someone who looks like me, a suspected menace to society. I sense the shadow in eyes that follow up and down convenience store aisles, expecting me to steal instead of buy. A reaction from someone they see, someone who looks like me. Certainly no dentist, but someone seen as a menace to society. She's moved. A thick-lipped girl endures yet another man's angry hands, takes several chances just to survive day to day any way she can, continually buoyed by enduring faith. A quick-witted sister who raised her young alone, welfare struggle, part-time job, full-time mom, sometimes odd feelings succumb to the beauty in her tone. She's moved from the hood to decent living, from rage to self-forgiving, to find inside a brave black lady, strong enough to hold her own, dance away the funk, roll a shoulder, and make the best baked mac with one hand tied behind her back and the other gracefully growing older. And last one called Idle Time. And now it's time, and now it's almost time for down. The sidewalks rolled, the doors secured, the chimneys stoked and curled in smoke. The lock's been latched, the lights turned low, the music soft, the pet fur stroked. An evening of mellow and comfort at home, with nothing to do and nowhere to go. Good night.
All right. We've come to that part of the evening where we take care of all the massive door prizes which were given to me by folks like you. Actually, these are the Stephen Mackin Memorial, Mackin Memorial Library. Again, we have James Joyce, Finnegan's Wake, Light Reading, King Henry IV, Part 2, I forgot Part 1. Richard Brodigan, this is the Trout Fishing in America.
Oh, man.
Comedy of Errors. A complete course in poetry. I've looked through this book. There are some really great things in here, but I have several like this. And R for Rattle, a magazine, poetry anthology. I haven't seen that yet. And of course, the Mini Geek. So, if you signed in and there's a number by your name, you notice these cards have numbers on them, so I scramble the cards. He will cut them and scramble them one more time, just in case you think I have sleight of hand abilities.
Dan Brady,
Yes,
I
sir.
handed you a book for the giving that you did not acknowledge.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Forgot.
It's
This is
a
from
coloring
Rainbow
book
Bros.
for
It's a
adults
coloring.
and other children.
It's coloring books for adults and children. Sorry, I forgot about that.
And other
All right. And then there's other notices here of wit and wisdom. Drum roll, please. Thank you so much. Karen Huff, you are our winner, the first winner of the evening. Rico, what do you think? Oh, okay. Richard Brodigan goes. I thought you were going to get something else. I try to predict who's going to take what, but you know. Drum roll. There you go. Wow. Ann Leonard. Ann Leonard, you are our winner this evening.
Ann Leonard, we'll never know. Who said that? Get him out of here.
Comedy of Errors.
That was a great
Yeah, thank you.
Comedy of Errors, there we go. It's a great play. Drum roll. Okay. Bob Clifford, you are a winner this evening. I'm going to cover these new people who lined up tonight.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any one of these fine prizes can be yours. But you're going to be going back to Oregon, right?
Yeah.
So he can't do them in here. But good. Finnegan's Wake. There you go. Enjoy. Thank you. Jack O'Neill.
Yeah. It's his library. Yeah, I guess Dan, they were given to Dan.
Ah, very good. The poetry course. And Great Pond, you are a winner.
There it is.
Any one of these fine prizes can be yours. He studies.
Coloring book is a hot item, I tell you. I spent a lot of time at Rainbow Grocery. They kept giving me free ones.
He goes in the coloring book. There we go. And Chris.
I always win. Let's see what we got.
Chris. See I think I know which one he's gonna pick. In my mind.
Cover your nose, Dan. You might pick it. We're
R.
all on strike for better poetry.
No underlines.
I like the picture.
Okay, I figured you would go.
It looked like my picture.
So now we have R, the rattle, and the mini feature. Drum roll, please, for the serious time we're getting you to the memory.
Hi. Once in a lifetime, all right.
So you have two choices here, the mini feature or R for rattle. He's considering. He's considering.
You did feature last week in the mini fashion center. Did you get? You may not know what you mean.
Oh, this
I'll
means.
take the mini
Okay, there you go. That means next week. Let me place your name. Write your name right there, so I will remember that. And now, the final prize of the evening. Will drum roll, please? Thank you. Lucy. And you have this fine and wonderful magazine just for you. We have designed with your mind in mind. Thank you so much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, give yourself a round of applause for I'd like to leave you with my favorite political joke. Does anybody know my favorite political joke? Thank you so much. All right. Same bat time, same bat station. Next week we have Greg Pond as the feature and Herb as the mini, so he'll be there, we'll be here, you'll be wherever you are, hopefully here. We've been streaming live. Don't forget that. Tell your neighbors, be friends, and shake hands before you go.
Referee Todd.
Did you get up at 7? You know, I did get up at 7.
Well, that's bad.
Thank you. Enjoy.
I stayed up.